that down, guys, let's move on now to our final topic today here, shall we? And that is this. Snow White opened in theaters this past weekend. Chris, I don't know. Did you even have a chance to see it?
I didn't get to go. No one wanted to go with me. So I'm going to go see it, I think Thursday morning. Yeah.
That tracks. Now, you guys remember that for a long time they were saying...
Not that nobody wants to go to see movies with you, but...
The movie.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to see this one in particular.
Company. I'm fun.
It was projected initially this was going to make from $50 to $55 million opening weekend, which I said would be okay, but you guys remember I said on the show, I don't see it making those numbers. I just don't see it getting there. And sure enough, CNN puts it, Snow White box office is more sleepy than happy.
I knew we'd get another good pun there.
Now, it did open to $43 million. But that is, again, below where the projections were and what they wanted, and lower than what a movie of its $200+ million budget. The reports vary wildly. Some reported at 250, some reported 225, whatever. It was an expensive movie. Made $43 million. Now, again, I think it made more money than every other film in the box office combined this weekend. But the reality is, even though it opened to $43 million, it is one of the lowest opening live action adaptations for a Disney movie. Let's go over and take a look at this. So starting at the top, which is the lowest, Snow White makes $43 million. 102 Dalmatians made $19 million on its opening weekend, went on to make $183. Christopher Robin, I like that movie. Christopher Robin opened at $24.6 million, went on to make $197. Alice Through the Looking Glass made $26.9 million on its opening weekend, went on to make $300 million. 101 Dalmatians made $33.5 million, went on to make $320. Maleficent, Mistress of Evil, opened to $36.9 million, went on to make almost $500 million.
Almost.
So good for it. I didn't like that movie, but good for it. Snow White, of course, then comes in at 43, making just below Dumbo, that made 45.9, went on to make 353. Cinderella, which I love that movie, opened to 67.9, went on to make over $500 million. The original Maleficent opened with 69 million, went on to make 759 million. Aladdin, which is amazing, I love this movie, made 91.5 million opening weekend, went on to make $1 billion. Little Mermaid opened to 95, went on to make 569. The Jungle Book opened to 103, went on to make almost $1 billion. Alice in Wonderland made 116.1 million, went on to make $1 billion. By the way, Alice in Wonderland opened to 116 million. Its sequel went on to just open to 26 million. That's a significant drop at any rate. And then Beauty and the Beast opened to 174 million, went on to make 1.36 billion. As a little bit of a comparable, a recent film, we've talked about this too, Mufasa, which is not live action, but still, Mufasa made 35 million opening weekend, so less than what Snow White made, but it went on to make over $700 million and is still making money. So there's that. So Snow White opens as one of the lower live action adaptation ones ever. Now, in terms of the year so far, it's actually we're already almost done the first quarter of the year. Snow White's actually the second biggest opening of 2025 so far. At $43 million, it's the second biggest opening of the year so far. Captain America Brave New World was the biggest opening at 88 million. It went on to just make 400 million. Then, of course, Snow White, we'll see that guy. Dogman, number 3.
Yeah. Let's
Number
go.
3, biggest opening of the year.
It's like a wake up
At
every
36 million, Mickey 17 at 19 million. Den of Thieves 2, Pantera made about 14 million more than I thought it would. Made 15 million on its opening weekend. The Monkey made 14 million on its opening weekend. Paddington in Peru in North American opening weekend made 12 million. And Flight Risk made 11.5 million. So, second biggest opening of the year. Made more money than every other film in the box office combined.
Woof.
But listen, guys, it's not a good start. This is right about where I expected it would have opened, around the $40 to $45 million range mark. Again, I understand Mufasa, another movie I didn't like. Mufasa opened to less and made almost 700 million more. Can Snow White do that as well? It has a chance. I mean, like Mufasa, it is a family appealing film, and more people went out to go see this than went out to go see Mufasa opening weekend. It has a pretty soft couple of weeks in front of it, so it should be able to maintain decently. I think the more realistic number here is probably it coming in at around 350 to 400 million when it's all said and done.
Yeah.
Which is not enough for it to break even. It is not enough for it to break even. Now, look, I've reviewed this film. You saw my out of theater reaction. This movie definitely has some things going for it, but overall, I didn't think it was a very good movie. It just is what it is. Then again, I didn't think Mufasa was a very good movie, and it made $700 million. So, guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, Kikoff. Man, time flies, doesn't it? 1 minute, you're reminiscing about your last vacation, and the next, you're thinking about major life goals, like buying a car, getting that dream home. But if your credit isn't where it needs to be, those goals can feel out of reach. And that's where Kikoff comes in, the #1 credit building app in the App Store that makes it easy, affordable, and stress-free to build credit fast. And that's exactly why I love Kikoff. They give you a credit line for just building credit, not for spending. Your on-time payments get reported to the 3 major credit bureaus, helping you improve your credit mix and payment history, 2 of the biggest factors in credit growth. If your credit is under 600, you could see a jump of about 28 points in your first month. No credit check, no hidden fees, no interest, just smart credit building. Building credit can happen faster than you expect with Kikoff. Don't wait. Get your first month for just $1 at getkikoff.com/Campea. That's kickoff without the C. Get 80% off at getkikoff.com/Campea. Must sign up via getkickoff.com/Campea to activate offer. Offer applies to new customers first month only, subject to approval. Offer subject to change. Terms and conditions may apply. Point stat based on Equifax Vantage Score 3.0 changes for Kikoff users starting under 600 who made their first on-time payment between January of 2021 and March of 2024. Payment and credit activity outside Kikoff can have an impact on your credit. Individual results may vary. It's an interesting kind of scenario we're looking at here, Chris, when it's not the lowest live action opening. I mean, it's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th lowest.
But it's a pretty bashful opening. Take that, all of you headlines.
Ding.
It's nothing to sneezy at. I don't know. Is there anything there?
I don't know, but you're making me grumpy.
Well, you call a doc.
Boy.
It is the 2nd biggest opening of the year so far. Hopefully it will not be for long. Hopefully we're going to have some movies that open bigger than that.
Yeah.
Both of those are poopy.
I don't know. When you look at that, does this come in right around where you think it would? Lower, higher? And what do you think ultimately the legs are going to be like on this thing?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I've been pretty much a negative Nancy about this one throughout I just don't think this is going to do well. It could have legs. We've seen this with other Disney live actions where it just kind of pedals on and it does decently, but I don't think it's going to recoup that really expensive cost to make it. And I feel like the theme of the day here is the idea of death by 1,000 cuts, because so many things have gone wrong here to not help this film. We have the controversy with however you feel about either of these women who are in it. So there's that one point. We also just have, Snow White is not the Lion King. Snow White is not the Little Mermaid. It's not part of the Disney Renaissance, if you will. Sure, it's the first. Snow White is the first animated film that we all know and love, and that's really what launched Disney. But it doesn't have the same, in my opinion, kind of tug that all these other Disney films have, especially with kids today.
Kids today.
They just don't understand Snow White.
I think you raised an important point, because like property names like Snow White, Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty, while these are the OGs, they do not carry nearly the amount of oomph in their names as Aladdin does right now.
Exactly.
Or Lion King, or things like that. Yeah.
And then on top of all of that, you just have in general, we do not consume film the way we used to. We have a very different way that we are willing to watch movies now. And I feel like even with excellent films, people are just not going to movie theaters. This could have been the most incredible reimagining of Snow White, and I still don't think the numbers would have been that great because of this year we're having with the movies. We're not seeing a huge return at the box office. And I'm genuinely really interested to see how everyone's pitching things at CinemaCon this year for you guys, because something's got to change. This is not good. That this is one of the highest grossing films of the year. Woof.
Yeah. And again, something like Captain America, Again, another movie I didn't think was very good. That seems to be the thing. There's just a lot of movies this year that I just don't think are very good.
So far, yeah.
I mean, it's unfortunate. Like this isn't a situation like Transformers 1, right? Where I came out of Transformers 1 going, that movie was great. This is the Transformers movie I've been waiting my whole life for. And then it just inexplicably underperformed. This isn't the same situation. This is a movie that I just didn't think was very good. Ironically enough, though, still almost half the critics still like it.
Yeah.
And I get it. I get why people who enjoyed the film do. I understand that. It just, for me, the film was just as a movie. Take the Snow White branding out of it, take all that kind of stuff. As a movie, I just didn't think it was all that good. So, I don't know. We'll kind of have to see how this thing all pans out. But again, I mean, if you want to look at a comparable, bring this up again. So Dumbo, you can look at it in two ways. The optimistic way is to look at it in comparison to Mufasa, right? Another not very good movie, opened to less than Snow White and still went on to make 700 million. Or you can look at it the more pessimistic way, whereas you look like at a movie like Dumbo that opened to a little bit more, roughly the same amount as Snow White, 45 million, but it only went on to make 353 million. And if Snow White does make 353 million, that's a significant loss. It's a significant loss for them.
You know, out of all the 2025 big openings, there's only one movie that has over 80% in both critic and audience rating.
Really? Which one was that?
And that's Dogman. So if people in here haven't seen it yet, you guys should check out that 80% and above movie.
Now, one of the things I said,
Is it really good, Ray?
I really like it. I'm not even kidding. I think
I know you're not,
I think you
but
should at least see it.
I probably will.
It'll come to streaming soon, obviously. I mean,
Yeah.
no one saw it in the
okay,
theater.
we're not here to talk
I
about
know,
Dogman.
but I'm just yeah.
But one of the things that also I said about Snow White was that when I came out of it and I said, I didn't really like it, but I said, I think audiences are going to like it more than the critics do. And sure enough, right now, Snow White's got a 74% audience rating. Now, I remember I had this argument with one of our viewers saying, Snow White's going to have like an under 30% audience rating. And I'm like, no, it will not. It definitely will. Number one, 80% of the time, audience ratings skew a little bit more positive than the critic ones do, because you got people who are wanting specifically to go see that movie, whereas critics don't care. They're going to go see all these movies and they don't care about whether they see it or not. And I just thought there was enough crowd pleasing stuff in it that I thought, even though it didn't work for me, that it was going to work for more audiences. So right now, critic rating 44%, audience rating 74%.
I got a question. Is there singing in this Snow White? I've never.
Yes.
I don't
yeah.
remember.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah,
musical.
it's
Do you think
musical.
there's some Wicked effect going on? Maybe was too close to Wicked.
Well, if
because
anything,
people
I
are still
would've-
coming
no.
out. I barely just watched Wicked like the other way.
If anything, the opposite would have been true, right? If people watched Wicked and really liked it, they would have been more jazzed to go out to see another musical.
But something that you really liked and this didn't look like it
I
was
think
going to
that,
be.
yeah, right. Like, I think if you go see it's the same thing with comic book movies. If you go to see a comic book movie and you absolutely love it, you are more likely to go see the next comic book movie that comes out. And I think if anything, the Wicked effect would have had a positive effect on Snow White. Now, if Wicked sucked and everybody hated it, then I'd say, yeah, that can have a negative impact. But because it was so well received, and Wicked is really good. I mean, even I loved
It's
Wicked.
incredible.
I think if anything, it probably would have had a more positive effect on it. But that's one of the other things. Like, I thought Moana 2 was okay. I liked it.
It's fine.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Nowhere near as good as the original, but I can't hum one bar from any of the songs in that one. I can sing the entire soundtrack from the first one. With Snow White, you'll see this when you go see it, Chris. Like, the opening 10 minutes of Snow White are great.
Okay.
And it's unfortunate that it's so great in the first 10 minutes because it sets your expectations like high for the rest of the movie. And then the first song in the movie, I think it's called Where the Good Things Grow. Great song. It's the one song I walked out remembering. Woof, the Gal Gadot song, so bad.
Oh no.
Oh, so bad. So even though the first song in the movie is pretty good, as a musical, I didn't really feel the music either.
You need to have good songs if you're going to have singing.
Oh, also the Hi Ho song.
Oh.
The Doors Hi Ho song. I I really like. Okay, I'll give it that. But that's a classic, right?
Yeah.
That's a classic. So
Do you think this is just kind of the issue is we're just having such a big year of meh? And on top of that, I feel like there's this pressure for critics too to come out really like this is trash or this is marvelous. I feel like there's more of this headline grabbing kind of thing these
I feel
days.
more
I'm not
fans
sure.
do that than
Okay.
critics. I like critics don't care.
Fair.
Critics just they just don't care. They'll go see it and they'll tell you exactly what they thought about it. Which is I think why you see like it's almost split down the middle. So
Sure.
44% liked it, 56% didn't. They don't care whether they think something is now a lot of the YouTubers, a lot of the podcasters, people who do stuff like what I do. Yeah, we're more prone to go 0 or 10. Everything's 0 or 10 today.
I love when
right?
people get mad about it though, of like when it's fine. Or, you need to have a stronger opinion. I don't though.
No,
so why
because
do you
the
want me
that
to
is
lie?
that is my
Don't
strong
ride the
opinion.
fence.
It was
Yeah.
fine.
Like there is no fence. It's just
It's just how I feel. Yeah.
And for me, a lot of the older, like let's say Snow White, Dumbo, whenever when they made the live action Dumbo, even though I thought the elephant was cute, I knew I was never going to see it. It's just the story never was almost kind of sad to me. I didn't want to.
It is so
Oh, it's
sad.
so sad.
Dumbo is
Snow
a
White
very
was-
sad story. Yeah.
Snow White, other than when the witch shines up the apple and makes it look real crispy and nice and good to eat, it kind of terrified. I was scared of Snow White. I didn't really care about that story either. I think it's just they reached too far for me. They reached too far into their log. I didn't care about those movies when I was younger.
I'm going to
and
say an unpopular, kind of following up what you just said, I'm going to say something unpopular. The original story of Snow White is not that good.
No.
I'm sorry. I know that's like sacrilegious to say, but the actual story of Snow White is
Yeah.
not that interesting.
it's
of
a little.
story.
That's what I
It's a
didn't-
little vain, right?
Here's the thing too, is like a lot of the people that, and we covered this last week, but a lot of the people that panned it were like, it's nowhere near the masterpiece of the original. But that you're not, just speak to me about this film as if you hadn't seen the original
Yeah.
before, because we're not going through all the Cleopatras that had ever been made before when we, you know what I mean? It's like, so right there, you're telling me you're just going off nostalgia. And to your point, John, I grew up with all those original ones before the 90s renaissance of Disney, and Sleeping Beauty, Sword in the Stone, Robin Hood, those were like big ones for me from the 50s and
Yeah.
40s. Snow White, like I'd watch once in a great while.
Because her voice,
It
man.
just wasn't that much for me.
Disney training was rough when we all had to learn our
Pinocchio,
Snow White voices.
you know,
Oof,
Peter
my
Pan.
goof. What a bad time.
Now, here's a question. When does it enter the public domain so that company doing Popeye the Slayer Man can make a horror version of Snow White?
Oh boy.
Where like Snow White survives the apple bite and she goes off on a thing of revenge where she starts killing all the families of the
you
castle
probably
guards.
could, since it's a German folktale. You just can't have her dressed the same way and have
Yeah,
the
I just don't
horrible
know
bob.
if it's in the public domain
I-
yet.
I-
That I would see. What would you call a Snow White horror film?
Well,
Snow
actually, I do
Yellow.
think there is one out right now because I
Snow
believe
Blood Red?
Taylor
Oh, red.
Gonzalez did a panel.
Crimson Snow.
Crimson
I'm going to
Snow.
look this up.
Snow Whip.
This
Yeah.
might be a little premature to ask, but
The Death of Snow White.
the death of Snow White.
There's already one because Taylor moderated a panel on it. Good job, Tay Tay.
Recovery. Can we talk recovery? Is there a chance that this film recovers from what you've seen?
So could there be like a Mufasa effect? Maybe. Like I said, there's not a lot coming out against it in the next couple of weeks.
That's what. Yeah.
No.
So like what happened with Mufasa was, again, not a very good movie, but families just kept going to see it. And they kept going to see it and kept going to see it and kept going to see it until it made over $700 million. I don't see that happening with Snow White, but I'm not going to deny that it's a possibility. It just happened, so it's possible. But Blow White.
Oh, dude, that's
Blow
right. Why not, dude?
Cocaine.
Yes. No,
Like cocaine,
Yeah.
Snow White.
it's a
Blow White.
snowboarding movie. Cocaine. Come on.
Cocaine, Blow White.
Children in here.
I'll watch that. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? Snow White, one of the biggest openings of the year. Still way lower than where it needs to be. Anyway, what do you guys think about that? Do you think it could have the Mufasa effect, where Mufasa opened even lower, made over $700 million? Or do you think it would be more in line with other films around Snow White's opening numbers, like Dumbo, where it made about $45 million, but it only went on to make about 350? I personally think that's more likely. Whatever you guys think,
was nice.
jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.